Hey everyone, it's Jaw Fossil here, and welcome to my team breakdown for the Green Bay Pangoros. I am part of the DPSV, which is short for Ducks Pokemon Server VGC, and every week there's going to be 10 weeks, and every week I will battle someone with a 1 week what's it called? A 1 week break, a bye. So, yeah. Basically, if you guys like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Why not? Let's try to get to 100 subs. And yeah. So, I got fourth pick overall. In other words, I got to pick fourth every time, and we went in a snake format. In other words, someone would go and then it'd go back and all the way to the last person, and the last person would pick twice and it would go back to the first person. When I say that, as in last person picks twice, and then second last, third last, so on and so forth. So I was able to pick fourth, and looking at the choices, I wanted to pick something that was really worth grabbing. In other words, something that I could easily use, something that's really viable, something that wouldn't waste, that would be kind of like a bit of glue to the team. And so, because of that, I decided to go for my first pick with Cinderace. Now, Cinderace is very cliche in some form, but I picked Cinderace because of Libero, which is basically Protean, which is stab on every type, and it turns it into that type. So, in other words, if I use U-turn, Cinderace will turn into a bug type, it'll gain stab, and it's pretty cool. Uh, Cinderace is a good fire type, one of the best fire types in the format. Obviously, I could have chosen Incineroar, but I feel like Cinderace is the better pick. Uh, Looking at Cinderace, it's got a really good speed and a really good attack stat with an amazing signature move in Pyro Ball, which is really good. Uh, its versatility is amazing. It's phenomenal. It learns U-turn, sucker punch, high jump kick, bounce, and Dynamax. It can easily use a Max Airstream to make it even faster, and with Max Knuckle, it can easily make its attack go higher. Now, it people say it was a little cliche, and I agree it was, but I feel like picking up Cinderace first round is a really big steal, especially for fourth pick. I didn't want it to go to waste. So my next pick, we look. One of the biggest things in VGC is a redirector, and I had two choices: either Clefable or Togetic. Now, sadly, Clefable got taken from me that right before my turn. So luckily, we got Togetic. Now, Togetic is gonna be required to have the Eviolite every week or every time I bring it, simply because of the extra bulk. One of the main purposes for a redirector is so that they can tank hits and also take hits away from your partner Pokemon. For example, if someone uses a Hydro Pump on Cinderace, and I use a Follow Me, Togetic will redirect that Hydro Pump to itself. So instead of Cinderace taking that damage, Togetic will be taking that damage. And not only that, Togetic also has a pretty solid special attack stat. So I can run Dazzling Gleam as a spread move. Mostly I'm just gonna be using it as a redirector or a healer. Life Do is what people call poor man's a heal pulse, since it just isn't as good, but it on the bright side it does heal up not only itself but its partner Pokemon. Um, Again, it's a big shame that I'm not going to be able to use uh, Clefable, but I'm certain that Togetic is going to be a phenomenal redirector. And later in the draft, I ended up picking another redirector, but you're gonna find out about it when we get to it. And so we go to my third pick, and I'm seeing that everyone's starting to pick their Gigantamax mon. Now in this draft, we are allowed to Dynamax any Pokemon, but we have to have a Gigantamax mon. My original pick was Copperaja, but because of me being dumb, it got taken. Someone already drafted it before me, so I had to go with another Steel type. It was either Duraludon or Corviknight, and I decided to grab Corviknight, Gigantamax Corviknight. It's got Corviknight in itself. It's a really good Pokemon physically. It's got good physical bulk, good physical attack. It has a good typing, being weak to only electric and fire, which later in the draft you'll see that I can easily counter those. And not only that, it's also really good, like, for setup. I can set up a Tailwind, and it'll be faster. Not only will it be faster, but its partner will be faster. If we can set up bulk ups, Body Press is deadly. Iron Defense also deadly. It's got reliable recovery and roost, which I think is one of the big reasons why it's so hard to beat. I've This is for my first season or my first time ever doing Draft League. I think that Gigantamax Corviknight can do a lot of damage, and although I'm not planning on Gigantamaxing it or Dynamaxing it a whole lot, I know for a fact that when I do, it's going to be very good to use. Steel Spikes help out. Max Steel Spikes help out immensely, especially for that defense boost. Max Knuckle again helps it with attack boosts, and its G-Max move, which I don't remember the name of, is really good as it's basically a better defog. It does damage and it removes hazards from my side of the field, which is not that important, but it's always good to keep in case someone does bring it. Now, so far, if someone were to bring Stealth Rocks, we see Cinderace and Togetic don't do well against it. Corviknight not really either, but getting rid of those rocks with Corviknight's G-Max move is really, and I mean really good. Especially for all of my Pokemon that are very, like that can be damaged badly by these Stealth Rocks. And not only Stealth Rocks, Spikes and T-Spikes too. And I just think that choosing Corviknight is a really good idea. And yeah. Going into my fourth pick, I was thinking what Pokemon would be good for my team. I look for tier 3 mons, and I come up, even before the draft comes up, I come up with a very good plan. But before I do, I decided to draft Ludicolo. Ludicolo is very good for Swift Swim, and it's a little weird since you don't see any rain setters yet. But I just think that Ludicolo can easily do damage without the rain. And most people run it with rain because of its Swift Swim ability, which I think is a phenomenal choice. I would do it too. But even without its Swift Swim, it's got Fake Out, it's got Blizzard, it's got Ice Beam, it's got Hydro Pump, Leaf Storm, Energy Ball, really good moves to use. And it hits hard, especially with Life Orb. And I mainly drafted it so I can have a somewhat good of a switch for any water, ground, or rock types that might be thrown at Cinderace. Cinderace really, I feel like Cinderace is one of the biggest mons, one of my most powerful mons. I feel like just having a Ludicolo would help out a lot. Not only can it easily sponge hits from all of those attacks, those types, but it can also dish enough damage to knock them out. Especially with, again, Hydro Pump and Energy Ball, or Giga Drain, depends on whoever is running. So, for my next pick, I was thinking I need a normal type. But even before then, I already had a plan in mind. This plan was used to be pretty big, but slowly, and when I mean slowly, I mean quickly, fell out of existence, and I'm deciding to bring it back. And how to do it? Then draft Tauros. That's right, El Toro, as I call him. Tauros is a really good mon, great at speed and offense, and used to be really good in Gen 1, since it almost always hit crits. I really think that Tauros is really good offensively, and even without the plan I have in mind, it can still do a lot of damage. And not only is it good for um, offense, it's also good as a support mon a bit. It's good to help set up other mons. An example is Surf on Cinderace. If I'm able to hit a Surf on Cinderace while it's Dynamaxed, I'll be able to activate a weakness policy and therefore double its already good attack and ensure a pretty good win. Uh, Nothing really there's no response to Tauros. It's got a lot of variety in coverage, Zen Headbutt, Rock Slide, High Horsepower. The list goes on. A lot of calculations I've done before making this video and before drafting. And Tauros can easily defeat any mons. Regigigas, which is one of the best mons when used with neutralizing gas, can get one shot by a max attack Tauros. And not only that, Pokemon like Lando, the Tornadus, and Regieleki, Tapu Koko, all the Tapus, all the Ultra Beasts, even Dragapult doesn't stand a chance. Sure, Tauros will have to take a hit before doing it, but it can easily take out Dragapult, which to me is amazing, especially with its ability Anger Point. As you know, Anger Point, if hit with a critical hit, it will automatically get max attack, which I think is it's a better belly drum, since you can easily set it up with a separate mon. Yeah. So for my next pick, I'm looking. I thought of which Pokemon should I choose next. I of course haven't used my 4 slots. I have 300 points to use, and so I'm gonna start things off by picking up Galarian Slowbro. Galarian Slowbro is very good. It's very slow, which you'll see is actually gonna be one of the bigger reasons why I draft it. It's got an amazing ability in Quick Draw, and I call this little strat the Quick Draw Quick Claw. I can easily use the Quick Draw Quick Claw and go first every other turn, and when Dynamaxed, it does a lot of damage. In the time whenever I use Galarian Slowbro, it's able to pick up either 2 or even win the game, 2 KOs or even win the game, which I think is phenomenal and something that should be watched out. That should be looked out for. As always, Shotgun is what I call my Galarian Slowbro, is really powerful. I think that with this strategy, and even then if it goes up against the Trick Room team, there's no problem. It can easily use the Trick Room under its own for itself. So really, Galarian Slowbro is one of the bigger threats to the 2 other teams. It's got a lot of coverage: Ice Beam, Scald, Flamethrower. I can set up with Nasty Plot if it wants. I'm just going to use it, Quick Draw, Quick Claw, and just go off. Togetic with Helping Hand can easily help out a lot and do a lot of damage as well. So I'm certain that Galarian Slowbro will be one of, if not the MVPs of either a contender or the MVP of the team. But we're just gonna have to see how it goes. The next Pokemon I thought of picking was actually a mon that can do a lot of damage when set up correctly. It needs a lot of preparation, but to set up. But I think that it's gonna be well worthwhile, and it also helps out complete dragon, my dragon, steel, and fairy core, which is Komodo. Now Komodo is very uh, is very good for its physical attack. Um, it's a pseudo legendary. It's not the best. It has a very decent speed, but I think that's the reason where it falls. It's got the attack. It's got the attacks. Pretty good special and physical attack, and not only that, has moves like clanging scales, drain punch, aura sphere, those kinds of moves to take advantage of those stats. But I feel like without the necessary speed, it just doesn't do well. But that's why this generation they added Clangorous Soul, which gives it an Omni boost, which I think is phenomenal. If I'm able to use predict a team, someone from the other team to hit only single hitting moves, and I'm able to redirect it with Togetic, I can easily set up a Clangorous Soul. Sure, it'll take a good chunk of my HP, but I'm certain that I can use a life dew and do massive damage to the opponent's team. And I just think Como, even without using its already amazing physical and special attack, I think that it can do a lot of damage without Clangorous Soul. I can set up with Tauros with an Ice Beam and give it a weakness policy or Throat Spray. Basically, Como can be ran with many things, but I think that I'm certain Como will be really good if used correctly. Now, I haven't picked the tier 4 yet, and I need to, which is why, Lord and behold, Tangela was still there, and I told you guys earlier I'm gonna pick up another redirector, and Tangela is that redirector. Tangela is really good bulky, has really good bulk. With the Eviolite, it's one of the more bulkier mons to use redirection with. Rage Powder, not only that, I can use Spore, I can use Giga Drain, Power Whip, Leech Seed is really good. Tangela is just there to. The reason I picked up Tangela is so that it can be a response to any water or ground types, and not only that, it's also there so that it can basically eat hits that aren't gonna do a lot of damage. So I think Tangela is a really good redirector, and if I can't bring Togetic one round, I can definitely bring Tangela another round, which is definitely a big win. 2 redirectors is something not a lot of people think about, and going with my team, I feel like 2 redirectors are needed because I don't want them to expect me to bring Togetic every week. One week I can bring Togetic, another week I can bring Tangela, or I can bring 2 weeks Tangela and then surprise them and catch them off guard with Togetic the 3rd week. And I just think that that is a really good choice. So coming after Tangela, I realized that I need a nice type that knows Frost Breath. My plan was originally to get Beartic, but sadly, Beartic got sniped, as what we say. It was a bit of a disappointment, but when one door closes, another door opens, and we got Frostlass. Frostlass is very fast, which was something that Beartic was not. And although it does trade that off, trades the speed for a solid attack and special attack stat, it brings very good coverage, or not coverage, brings a good support mon. It can run Will-O-Wisp, it can run Destiny Bond, it can run basically it can run a plethora of status moves, and not only that, it can run Frost Breath. Is that what I said before? Frost Breath is essential to Tauros. You know, earlier I mentioned that Tauros has Anger Point, which can be activated if hit with a crit. Well, Frost Breath is a guaranteed crit every time. So, because of that, we now have our big strategy, which is Tauros Frostlass. With the Frost Breath, while Dynamaxed, which will do massive damage, which is a huge thing. In order for this to work, I'm gonna have to run Scarfed Frostlass, switch it out, and then switch it back in, or at least like invest a lot of speed into Frostlass just to ensure that uh, Frostlass can indeed um, hit first, hit Tauros first, so that then Tauros can hit back, hit another mon with a lot of damage. Frostlass, not only that, it can also learn. It's also good offensively. If I want to, I can run an offensive Frostlass with Snow Cloak or Snow Veil. I can't remember the name of the its ability, but basically it'll heighten his evasiveness under hail. And looking at the team, you're starting to see a little bit of a hail core or a hail team. Frostlass, Ludicolo, somewhat. Is it and Tauros. Ludicolo can set up the hail with Max Hailstorm. Tauros can also set up with Hailstorm, although I wouldn't advise it. Oh, and Slowbro can also set it up, and you'll see later on that I have another mon that will do really good under hail. So now all that's left for me to draft are tier 5 picks. As I said before, there are only 300 points, and I wasted all but 40 on Slowbro, Kamo-O, and Frostlass. Now, my first of the 3 tier 5 picks so happens to be Sandslash. Now, it's weird. Why would I pick Sandslash? Sandslash is not that good. Doesn't have good speed. It's got good attack and good defense, but that's pretty much it. Why would I grab it? Well, Dracovish is a problem. Galarian Darmanitan is a problem. Basically, a lot of attackers, physical attackers, can really hurt my team. As you can see, Dracovish, if it runs Scarf, it can easily Oko Cinderace, can two-shot Togetic, can one-shot Tauros, can two-shot Tangela, Corviknight, and can one-shot Corviknight, Slowbro, maybe two-shot Kamo, and can easily one-shot Frostlass. Sandslash can easily, with a Focus Sash, can live the Dracovish's Vicious Rend, and can also can use counter and deal back that damage, but amplify it by 2. So not only that, you'll have one dead Dracovish. I just think that, and also having a ground type is really useful. The only time Sandslash comes is if I need a counter team. Is like, again, if I need to use counter against either Dracovish or Galarian Darmanitan or Tyranitar, Excadrill, or any mon. That, or if I'm up against the Sand team, since both the Sandslash's abilities work under Sand, and I think Sand can work really well with Sandslash. And not only that, Corviknight can also take advantage of the Sand as well, or of the Sandstorm as well. After Sandslash, I decided to pick Absol. Now, what makes Absol so good is that it has Sword Stance, it's got priority. It's just a really good. It's a really good Dark type for a tier 5 mon. As you can see, we have a bit of a. Well, we have a little bit of a Psychic type weakness. Not really, but Absol is just there to ensure that Pokemon like Alakazam or basically any Psychic type. It's a big counter to Psychic types, and I feel like Absol can Swords Dance up and can easily win us a game with Night Slash. Super Luck Night Slash is almost guaranteed to. It's like every other turn it will not be a crit, and I think that Absol can do a lot of damage. Sure, it can't eat hits very well, but again, we have Togetic and Tangela to redirect those attacks away from Absol so that it can do a lot of damage back. And now we're at my last Pokemon. I was originally going to pick Pikachu, but someone sniped it. And so, with that gone, I'm able to pick Rotom Frost. Now we already have an Ice type in Frostlass, but Rotom Frost is a very underappreciated Rotom. Under hail, it can hit blizzards 100% accurate, and as you know, my team is a bit of a hail core, has a bit of a hail team. And if I'm able to set up hail, Rotom Frost will be able to do massive damage with his with its blizzards. And not only that, it can also Volt Switch, can trick items, it can Will-O-Wisp mons. It's just a really good mon. Sure, it has a lot of weaknesses, but we have Pokemon that can easily counter those. Fire types. For fire types, we have Sandslash and Ludicolo. And Kamo. Rock types, we have Ludicolo, Tangela, Sandslash, Corviknight to some extent, Kamo. Let's see, we got Steel. I mean, really, just Fire, Rock, and maybe some others, but Rotom can easily be put in work if when it's set up, when it's under hail. So yeah, that's pretty much my team. Sure, it could be a lot better. I kind of broke a bit when it came to the tier 5s, but I think that this is a very good team. Again, Cinderace, Togetic, Ludicolo, Tauros, Tangela, Sandslash, Absol, Gigantamax, Corviknight, Galarian Slowbro, Kommo-o, Frostlass, and Rotom Frost. That is the team for your Green Bay Pangoro. So if you guys are excited for the season, hit that like button. We are going. Our first match is up against the South Bay. I think it's South Bay. It's the South Bay Umbreons. It's either South Bay or South Shore Umbreons. I can't remember, but it'll be a very good battle. Expect a team builder every week where I build up a team to go up against the opponent, and yeah. So again, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and that's all. So until next time, stay awesome.